Hello and welcome. I'm Anne-Marie from the Yorkshire Centre of Wellbeing. I'm explaining to you what is coming up in our restorative yoga class this week. The conditions are perfect for us to practice outside. There's nothing more beautiful than being able to be outside in nature, in our gardens. We're very fortunate to have beautiful gardens here, and to practice our restorative yoga, which, as the name implies, is about restoring us body, mind and soul. It's a very relaxing style, and if we can practice in the warmth but with some shade. Right here I have some shade from the elderflower tree, but we can have our body in the warmth and the sun if that feels good to us. It's extremely nurturing and nourishing. So we hold poses for a little while, and the whole idea is to rest deeply. And I'll show you a couple of asanas. So we often use the bolsters, but we can improvise. If we don't have bolsters, we can roll up towels and make a type of bolster, or use pillows. And this next pose, we would use a strap, which we make a loop out of. Put our legs just in the strap, like so. So the strap's on the inside of your legs, underneath your feet, and then we're going to use the bolster. We take a slight pelvic tilt to help the spine relax, and for this one we would elevate the head, so the head is slightly higher than the heart. And this is a restorative version of butterfly pose. If we have quite tight hips, we can support the thighs with a couple of cushions or blocks or anything else of your choice. And the beautiful thing about restorative yoga, the more you surrender, the more you relax and completely let go, the deeper the healing. So this in particular, this pose opens up all of the hips and the pelvic region. So clearly it's a hip opener. It has many benefits, and it can help with things like sciatica or any internal organs of the body. And when I'm teaching, we tend to focus on the chakra associated with this asana. So this one we would focus on the sacral chakra, Svadhisthana chakra, and each chakra has its own colour. So the colour of this chakra is orange. So one of the things I will often suggest to our students is that they walk around the gardens before they begin the practice and really absorb the beauty of nature. We have many flowers here, and we have some orange flowers which have just come out in a border over to my right. And when we really feel that connection to nature, to the universe, the beautiful natural colours, the sounds of nature, you can hear the birds, a slight rustling from the wind in the trees. That's very deeply nourishing and nurturing to our body, mind and soul. So as we rest here, we visualize or think or feel the colour orange. And this position allows the energy to flow more freely around the pelvic region. So perhaps we may have some issues due to female imbalance in hormones. Maybe we're pregnant, pre or postnatal, or maybe we're trying to conceive. All these sorts of conditions will be very much nurtured and assisted by these restorative poses. And the idea is we just rest. We have a perfect saying in the 7 spiritual laws of yoga, one of the styles I teach, the principle of least effort. My actions create maximum benefit with minimum effort. And this is a perfect example of this. Generally speaking, we'll hold positions for an absolute minimum of 3 minutes, as this allows the muscles and the fascia and the connective tissues to release, but often it's a lot longer. So that is a restorative version of butterfly pose. We will then generally, very often, take our legs out of the strap, let them flop wide. Normally we take the cushion away and rest the head on the bolster. We may need to make a little adjustment. And what happens now is that the chest is opened and the shoulders really sit back in their sockets. So again, there's absolutely no need to try with this. The beauty of the bolster, it does it for you. And again, we just completely surrender and breathe. And as we practice this asana, this is a heart opener. And as I look up, I can look through the leaves, the green leaves, some white flowers, the elder flowers, and up to the blue sky. So drinking in, literally soaking in the beauty of nature, the warmth of the sun, very nourishing and nurturing. This asana is particularly beneficial if we tend to be round-shouldered, as the shoulders naturally sit back. If we have any heart issues, as we're literally open-hearted. And the colour of the heart chakra is green, anahata, so we would think, visualize, see green. Some people like to visualize pink. We have lots of lovely pink flowers around as well. And if we have any breathing issues whatsoever, we're not even breathing deeply, we find that because we're creating space around the heart and lungs, we begin to breathe more calmly and more deeply. So wonderful asana for anything like asthma, coughs, colds, flu. And again, we'd rest here a little while. And just watch. You can either have your eyes closed, as I have my eyes open. I just saw a swallow darting around. Now from that asana, and of course we would have stayed there longer than I've just shown you, the other option that people sometimes like to do is to get fully on the bolster, and the shoulders are at one end, the hips at the other, and the head can drop off the end. So this is a restorative version of fish pose. Now when we are practicing this asana, it's more about the throat chakra, Vishuddhi, and the colour is blue. So as I look up, I can see the blue sky, exactly the colour that we would think, visualize, if we were focusing on that chakra. And of course, this is also a wonderful stretch for the spine, a restorative stretch, and opens the throat and again the chest, so very much helping with the breathing. Some people like to take their arms back behind them for a slightly stronger stretch. Some people find that a little bit too strong, so we can use whatever we need, cushions, blocks, because the whole idea is that you're so supported and so relaxed and warm that you completely surrender to the pose. And when we do this, deep healing occurs. Now, of course, there are other asana we can use. I'm just showing you a couple there today. And generally speaking, when I'm teaching this practice, I will then take us into Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra means psychic sleep. And it's the sleep that is the deepest of all sleep that we can go into, but we're still conscious, although often we drift in and out of sleep. And we also, my students also name it yoga nod off. So it doesn't matter if you fall to sleep. If you need to sleep, that's fine. It's a wonderfully powerful practice because at the beginning of practice we make what's called a sankalpa, also known as a heartfelt prayer for our health, our healing, our higher good. And we state that sankalpa 3 times in the present tense. And that sankalpa will come to pass as it's planted deeply in your subconscious mind. And we repeat that same sankalpa at the end of practice. I will guide you through various stages which can take you into the deepest state of consciousness. It can even take you into delta waves, which is the lowest brain waves, and the only other time we can achieve that is when we are in deep sleep, the non-dreaming state. So this is a process, and when we are in this deeper state, I will invariably lead you through a guided meditation. And that meditation will come to me. Normally I will have been inspired by something that's happened, or maybe just by being in beauty, being in nature. And it's almost like having your nighttime story when you're a child. But again, you're nearly always drifting in and out, and you may hear bits of it. But at some subconscious level, you will have heard it. I generally find our students really love this practice, as it allows us to heal on the deepest of all levels and helps us go into that parasympathetic state, the heal, the rest, restore state. We use it for many reasons: for deep rest and relaxation, for anxiety, depression, also for situations like pain relief, and working with people like cancer and other such situations. In fact, the best result I've had with a group is when I was working with a group from Help the Heroes, soldiers who were all suffering with post-traumatic stress disorder, and we did a one-day retreat with them, and the part that they found the most beneficial, the most part they enjoyed, was the Yoga Nidra, the Yoga Nod Off. And there has been quite a lot of research done on this by psychotherapists and other such people to show that we get wonderful results with Yoga Nidra, and very often better than any other type of therapy. You can look this up for yourself. There is a link on the website on the yoga page that will take you to that link. If you can join us on Thursday afternoon, I'd be delighted to see you. Of course, the weather has to be like this, but we believe it will be. And if we're not outside in the gardens, when we can be open again, I will be teaching this in the studio. It's a normal practice on Friday morning. If you do have any questions, would like to come, we'd love to see you. Thank you for listening today. Take care, stay safe, keep well. Namaste.